Vine comes back because Elon just bought it, it'll compete with TikTok? Nah, not any chance.
Still.
Because the way the hemisphere is shaped, like if you were going against the grain or like the ways the rotating move, it's like a farther distance, but like on an airplane it's faster. That makes sense.
Yeah, no, I get it.
And Americans over here like, I've been in the same city since 1959. I'm like, no, what?
So I have Yousif Mihyar. That's it.
Mihyar.
Mihyar.
That's two syllables. Mihyar.
Mihyar.
Yeah.
Yousif Mihyar.
Yeah, perfect.
Right, okay. 85,000 subscribers on YouTube with 117 million views on YouTube, along with 33K followers on TikTok with 1.6 million likes on TikTok. And he has a cult, his following, he goes by the Brosifs.
Yeah.
So all the Brosifs, if you guys are watching and tuning in, be sure to subscribe and take care of the support now. But student at UCF and he's studying health sciences. He is also a registered real estate agent, right?
Yeah.
How long have you been doing, you would say been doing like YouTube seriously?
YouTube, probably like 1 year.
1 year?
Yeah.
And you've had, so what about TikTok?
TikTok, probably like 2 years, 3 years.
Okay, all right. So, and now we're gonna be talking about YouTube Shorts, talking about the algorithm, kind of our field and how we do our thing and how Yousif does his thing. He's very well knowledge, very well connected as well. So I'm gonna be picking his brain today and we're gonna be getting some good stuff out of him. So first off, if you guys are new, subscribe. But my first thing is, so you're a student, you're a real estate agent, and you're also into the mix of just social media. My first question is, how do you balance, between like life and work?
Yeah, that's a good question actually. So work, like those are just like the side things. Like the primary thing is school. Real estate I haven't touched at all.
Okay.
But marketing is like what I usually work as, and like contracting, like they'll consult me, like just like random people. I got a phone call this morning, just like landed a brand deal for like $1,000 that I got to do in 2 weeks for a photo booth company, which is like totally random. That was like this morning, and their rate was gonna be like $90. And they're like, "What's your rate? We haven't worked with influencers before." And I was like, "No, 10 times. Like, no, you're not. Like, this is what are you doing? Like, I'm not what? No." So
yeah.
then, so I want to say like, it's like school, and then probably like a ton of consulting, and just like companies hitting me up, whether it's like through LinkedIn, email, my phone number. They're just like word of mouth, random stuff like that. And then it's like YouTube, and then real estate, and then I'm working on a side thing right now, which is the thing I told you. I'm trying to co-found an AI company, which is crazy. So,
have you always been like you just want to dabble in everything and just because it seems like you just take everything? Well, I know real estate's not really like that's kind of in the back pocket, but yeah, exactly. Just with everything, like you just want to.
Oh, I don't think it's like that big of a deal. Most people like head over heels. Yeah. So when you apply this like lateral thinking of like, oh, it's not that. Thinking, yeah. When you just apply to like, it's not that hard. You apply that to like a ton of other things, it becomes really useful for a secondary thing, which is like lateral. I don't even know what they call it. A good business that does it is called Nintendo. You probably heard of them. They made the Switch, and the Switch was such a revolutionary piece of technology for like consoles because it was so outside of the box. But the reason why they created this because they took things from other companies. The creator of the Nintendo like Game Boy or whatever, he was working at a little company called Texas Instruments, where they made calculators, and he was like, dude, this is so useful to have on the go. What if I could do this for like video games? So he literally just applied that knowledge to a different lateral. Yeah. So if you can get really good in other things, and then just apply things from here and there, you get really good in that one thing. You know, like, that's like the best way to think of it.
Applying that base foundation to other things is like, yeah.
When you said like, was I always like this? I wasn't. I was never like this. No one just becomes fucking goated overnight. I'm gonna be real with you.
Yeah.
When you're like younger and you realize like shit, I want to like do a ton of things, and you kind of just like sit on your ass and you're like, damn, you know what? I'm gonna realize like what's after college? A full-time job? And then you're like, oh man, I'm not gonna even have time. Like you're gonna realize like shit, I'm like losing time now. So if I don't do it now, I'm never gonna have time. It's gonna be really, really hard. So you have to do it now. So in the future, you're just like, oh, I did it. Maybe I can go back to it. I know exactly where to start. You know what I mean? Like, put your foot in the door, all these things.
Right.
And I want to say exactly where it stemmed from. Like, to answer your question, like, was I always like this? No, but I recognized it in sports. So my parents just put me in like a ton of sports. Like I'm sure a ton of other kids do. But with like other kids, I was actually decent at a lot of sports. I like got pretty far in tennis, got pretty far in golf, got pretty far in like karate, soccer, all these things. I love soccer the most though. I'm a soccer player. But then I was like, I gave up on all these. I was like, it's too much work. Like I don't want to do any of those. I was good at them, but I realized that it was just more like coordination. You know what I mean? It's kind of like how if you're just like a balanced player, like literally, like if you have good balance, you're gonna be good at like sports like soccer and skateboarding. You know, just because you have a good like center of mass and like spatial awareness, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So then you can just be like, oh, what am I good at in other stuff that's like that. So there you go.
What is your approach about, or what are your thoughts on like focusing your 10 on one thing?
Yeah, I think there's truth to that. I think the best piece of advice to like summarize like very short, very short, is that the truth behind that is do it. Yeah, it's like focus on one thing, but for a period of time. Set a period of time. And usually, I would never say like put a time frame on your goal, like your overarching goal. You know, I never say like the worst advice I can give to someone like as a creator is, oh, I want to get 100K subs by the end of the year. Like no, like bro, take your time. It's not that deep. Like you might hit it like next week, you might hit it in 2 years.
The right people will find you.
Exactly, just hit 100K. If you have something good enough that you believe so strongly that like it'll find an audience, like do it long enough. Yeah. But you have to act, like you have to be proactive in it, and you have to be like, oh, okay, maybe it's not the best. Maybe I should switch it up because you can do something long enough and it can be bad. You just don't know unless you like act people. So you have to be proactive, and you have to have friends. Like friends are like the only way to go as a creator. Yeah,
exactly.
But focus on something, but put a time frame on it, like 3 months, 3 weeks, and until you hit that like one step at a time type of goal. You know what I mean?
Where are you originally from?
From Naples, Florida, but I've traveled like across the world. So when my parents in like 2008 housing crisis, they're in Marco Island, and then my dad got a job offer in Dubai. I'm Arab, so we have a lot of connections in the Middle East. My family's in Jordan. I'm Palestinian, and I lived in Dubai for 4 years. But I always tell people, because they're like, "Oh, you lived in Dubai," but I always tell them like, "No, I lived in Dubai before it was Dubai." And the best way I can describe that, and it's like a little fun fact, was that the population of Dubai, their population has doubled every single year since like 1990, which is crazy to think about. Like if you apply that to like any other civilization, like you don't see that type of growth usually. It's good growth. It's amazing growth. But to double, like literally every year, like think about that. Like think about like 1 year, it's like 40 million population or something. Yeah. To double the next year, you need another 40 million. And people don't realize that. People just think
and the
like
resources.
People just think like, oh, it doubled every year. But when you think of like the numbers, like no. If the population is 10 million, they get another 10 million in 1 year, and then that next population is 20 million the next year. Like that's crazy. Yeah. So in those 4 years, it was like crazy growth. On every way on the day to school, we would see the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world, being built, and that a huge, massive billboard for marketing that said, "This many floors built today." And every day, you'd see how many floors. And it was going on for like 2.5 years. And we left when there was like the last 50 floors being built.
Like
so
you moved? You guys moved?
Yeah, when we moved away. So we never had to like see the Burj Khalifa. And to this day, I've never even stepped foot in it. I've been there like multiple times. I've seen it like 100 billion times, but like.
So where did you move after? You moved back here, right?
Yeah. So after Dubai, we moved to Naples, and then we moved back to the Middle East to a little country called Bahrain, one of the smallest countries in the world. Population of 1 million. 20% of the population is natives to the country, and 80% are foreigners, because it's just like crazy destination type of vacay country. We lived there for 1 year. It was like hell on earth, but that's a different story. And then we moved back to Orlando, and that's what I've been ever since.
How long ago did you move back?
2014.
Okay, so, oh wow, so quite a while. How old were you when you were in Dubai?
2004 to 2008.
And how old are you right now?
20.
20, okay.
I was born in 2002, so I was... Was it 2000? I don't even think it was 2004 for me. I think it was like 2005 to 2009.
The difference, like the living style for you, living overseas versus coming and living back in the States.
I mean, there's a huge positive and negatives. Like I hear all the Americans always talk about like, oh, I want to travel and I want to live overseas. Like, bro, just do it. You have an American passport. Like Americans are so dumb. They don't realize like American passport. People literally sell their kidneys in India like to get an American passport. It's actually insane. Like American passport is so valuable, and Americans over here like, I've been in the same city since 1959. And I'm like, no, what? Like you can sell your passport and make like $10,000 if you find the right person. It's actually crazy.
Yeah.
But and like backpacking, it's not that much. Like if you just went backpacking in like a different country and just like stay like different places all the time and just got like a remote freaking job in the US that paid like $10 an hour, that'd probably be enough to like travel all of Europe for like 3 months. I'm not even on cap.
Damn.
The difference is, you probably have to see for yourself, but I want to say the biggest difference is probably like education. People are just like, Americans are dumb. It's just so true. I don't know what to say. Average American's dumb as you're bricks. You're dust. You're watching this. You're dust, bro. I don't know. What's your analytics looking like? 50%?
What?
Like US. Like we have like geography. 80% of you bricks, dust, gone, walnuts.
Like learning in Dubai, like the school systems overseas is just.
Yeah. So fun fact: when I went to Dubai, I did KG 1 and 2, which is like kindergarten, and I was a year ahead. So they do like British system. And the British system, the only place that like is remotely close is New England. All these like hyper amazing schools like Princeton, MIT, blah blah blah. Their curriculums, they make them for high school and private schools in the Middle East and stuff like that, and probably like other places in Europe too.
They throw them like the tough curriculum at an early age.
Yeah, but the tough curriculum it's not really tough. It's tough for like Americans, but for them, like they don't know any better. Like they started with that. So it's like being blind your whole life. Like you don't know what skiing is like, you know what I mean? So to them it's just easy. To them it's just basic, you know what I mean? So if you grew up like that and then you came to America,
that's a blessing in disguise.
No,
for
you get a full scholarship. Like if you're an international student and you're smart, which is just a given. Like if you're international studying, you're just smart. Right. And if you come to the US, you get a full scholarship.
That's the standard.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just easy money for them.
Was moving, like bouncing from States back to overseas to back and moving to that one.
Yeah, Bahrain.
What is it?
Bahrain.
Yeah,
BAHRAIN.
The population of 1 million. Where is that?
It's right off the coast. It's in the Gulf, like the center of the Gulf of the Middle East. Okay. If you're familiar with it, you can see it later on a map. It's very small. You can't see it on a map.
Really?
It's an island. Population of 1 million. It's very, very, very small.
Okay. So was moving, like bouncing from all these places, hard for you when you were kind of younger?
Thankfully I did it. Like looking back on it, it's like one of those things like I hated doing. Like I feel like as a kid traveling.
Like when you were going through it.
Yeah, I feel like as a kid traveling. Like when your parents drag you around, it's like, damn, I hate it so much. Like I was like literally like 10 years old looking at the Eiffel Tower and I was like on my DS. I didn't not care. Like my parents would be like, smile, like this is an amazing experience. And then look back on it, I was like, holy shit, you come to America and you realize like, damn, people are dying for this. Like people, you always hear in America, I wish I could travel the world. I didn't realize that and I'm like, damn, I've been to every freaking European country and I hated it, but now I'm like really fortunate for it. Yeah. So looking back on it now.
I mean, we both live in Orlando too. Disney is 30 minutes
Oh my god, yes.
Like people dedicate 2 months trips and like,
no, that's actually very funny. When I told my homies from Bahrain that I moved to Orlando, they actually ship bricks because they will like Disney's in other international regions like Paris, France. I've been to Disney France. It's mid. It has like Cars and Nemo, which is like unique rides that we don't have. But Paris in Tokyo is like the good one, and that was just far. That's why they want to open up Paris or Disney in Germany because that'll be like goated status. Yeah, just because the way the hemisphere is shaped, like if you were going against the grain or like the ways the rotating move, since it's like a farther distance, but like on an airplane it's faster. That makes sense. Yeah. Because you're going with the rotation of the Earth. Like they always go to the one in Orlando. And they're like, bro, you're like down the street. I'm like, I'm not down the street. I like live in the zip code, bro. I can like walk there, like.
But you didn't know that because you spoiled in that sense.
Phenomenon called like the Paris phenomenon with like Eastern Asian people when they go to France for the first time because they get like super depressed or something because they realize like Paris isn't all that in the movies.
Like Ratatouille.
There's like a lot of homeless people,
really?
A lot of thievery, a lot of like there's like when I went there, one of the things I was like traumatized for like a while, for like 3 months afterwards. I saw a dude just with like no legs, but his legs were still attached. So his legs were just like purple and like rotting away. And it was like disgusting to see. And he was homeless, just wearing shorts. And I looked at him, and my dad just like was like grabbing my hand, like dragging me along, and just like to make sure I'm like safe in Paris. So like seeing stuff like that in Paris is very scary. Really? So that's why people will get depressed after leaving Paris.
Because it's not, yeah.
It's not all that at all. And when I went to the Eiffel Tower, actually, Obama was visiting, and no one was allowed in a 1 mile radius because he was going to the Eiffel Tower. So it was AIDS. So I didn't even get to see like the Paris up close. So like when people I've never touched the Eiffel Tower, but I went to pose with it and do the. Ooh.
What has been your favorite place that you've traveled to or that you spent time in?
Yeah, there's a lot of places. I want to say my own country, Jordan. Jordan's like really good.
Jordan?
Yeah.
Okay. How long did you live there for?
I have a house there. I'm a citizen.
Still?
Yeah. Or I mean, I'm.
And you have a Michigan house too?
Yeah.
With your boy?
Yeah.
Or your brother, right?
My brother. Yeah.
You're old. You never seem to amaze me. So
Yeah.
that's just crazy. Yeah, we're going skiing sometime soon.
Yeah, it'll be hype actually. I have to talk to you about that. It's really interesting.
Anybody I'm gonna dumb this down for all my people. There's a regular YouTube video, like what you're watching here, and then there's also YouTube Shorts, which is a new update and even like, you know how there's Instagram Reels now, and there's YouTube Shorts, and then there's just regular TikToks, because I think the blow up of how people's attention spans are like ferrets that all these other platforms are resorting to. So a YouTube Short is basically like a TikTok, or just like a YouTube video, a piece of video is just vertical. So now there's news that, I don't know if this is implying into January 2023, that people, if you're part of the YouTube Partnership Program already, like if your channel's monetized, you can now get paid through Shorts. So just blab on any of your thoughts initially on what you think of like YouTube Shorts, and also how has it been?
Yeah, so I'll give you some insider info, what I can talk about and what I can't talk about. So I've known about this. I work with Shorts. Obviously, I'm a Shorts tuber, and I don't just work. I'm not just a Shorts tuber. That's what I'm trying to say. I work like very closely with the Shorts team, like Elise and Kevin Ferguson, the director of Shorts. I'll do like research participant groups on their front end UI, and I'll tell them, hey, feedback on creator tools, blah blah blah, stuff like this. Right. And I'll network with like Owen and JT, who have the Shorts deal, and they get paid to like post Shorts and stuff like this.
Are you part of that mix too, or?
No. But because they're full-time creators, and that's like what they do for a living. But one of the things that I've known for a while was the thing you were talking about, the eligibility monetization requirements that they're changing to the platform coming early 2023. One of the things I can talk about was that I've known this for a while. I just had to sign an NDA that I couldn't talk about it until they released it. And what I'm trying to hint at towards is I've known things for a while, and maybe I'm gonna, I can't say some things that are coming in the future, but I can say the future of the platform as a whole will be really, really intriguing, and it'll be a large TikTok competitor. Like I heard people saying like, oh, if Vine comes back because Elon just bought it, it'll compete with TikTok. Nah, not any chance. Nothing's competing with YouTube Shorts. There's so many. JT Casey, my boy, he is fully committed to leaving TikTok. He's done. He does not post TikToks anymore. He's done. Only Shorts tuber. And he's huge. He has 2 million. He has 6 million on TikTok, 2 million on YouTube. That's how convinced he is of Shorts as a platform, because of the stuff they're telling us behind the scenes, which is insane. Like, dude, TikTok doesn't care about their creators. Like,
what I like about YouTube and why, because I've been doing long form, like full planned out videos, like and not Shorts for 3 years, and now like I like the organization of like now how there's a videos tab and there's a Shorts tab.
Yeah, that was really big.
But the catch that like obviously I'm gonna get on the Shorts thing and start posting on that, because it's just free eyeballs, and like I like YouTube because it's community, and it's more reliable, because like you were saying, TikTok, it's just like YouTube, it's like people go and they like watch, and like they know what they're going for.
Yeah, it's like dinner and snacks,
What?
Dinner and snacks. Like long form videos is dinner, and that's like the bulk, and that's how you build an audience, and that's how you spend time with people. That's the real connection. Yeah. But the snacks are the YouTube Shorts. But the snacks are really useful for what? When you don't have enough time, when you don't have enough energy, when you don't have enough, you don't want to make that food. So that's why it's a really good balance.
For the intention span.
Exactly.
Sit and watch too. Yeah, because if I ask you, hey, could you watch this 8-minute video for me? You're like,
Yeah.
I catch myself, I'm not even on TikTok as much anymore. Like even posting, even like all that stuff. So that's why I think YouTube is in a good spot. I don't know what, intriguing things you can't tell me, but what's popular for long form content, like long form videos, is speculation videos, like really challenges, like the Mr. Beast.
It's actually dying very soon.
Oversaturated too. Like there's so many creators, the space is so fucking competitive now that like as soon as somebody finds like a spark of a new idea, there's already so many people that have jumped on it.
So if you want to get into like the nuance of the creator economy, to like summarize it like super, super quick, basically what's happening is capitalism and inflation in a nutshell, like exactly identical. Mr. Beast has like raised the standards so high where it's divided to people who can keep up and people who can't keep up. And what's this doing is that it's creating a middle class, and that middle class is going to get also separated, and then there's going to be a deletion of the middle class. And the middle class is probably going to come back through short form content. Because like, what are you going to do? And then you're probably going to have a repeat exactly of what's going to happen of Mr. Beast. You're going to have people doing speculation in 60 seconds. which would just be insane.
Because you go back to, I've said this on Real Talk before, it's like if you go back 2016, like a slow-mo video of water balloons exploding will get 60 million views. Now you have to drop 60 water balloons from the Eiffel Tower while you're on fire. Like everything is just so like exaggerated, and it won't even get 1 million views. And it's just like, that's the reality of like how like content has just switched. So like for you, like how important is it to keep up with trends, keep up with the algorithm, understand like what, because a lot of your shorts is just like reactions. It's just like, you know, you just popped up with your, you know, your little iPhone microphone.
Yeah,
and that's a space for people really fuck with that. And there's people that do like that stuff. But like for you, like for, I guess, advice for people that like want to get started into YouTube, or like that want to get started in this, like what's your advice to how they can like thrive and how they can succeed with?
So I don't know if you've seen these rise of people who just like do story time challenges with subtitles and like sound effects. Have you seen people like that? And it's just a voiceover, like,
yeah,
oh, today I was doing blah, blah, blah. It's just like stuff like that. So those creators are shining their personality a lot. And where this is really like been the rise is Ryan Trahan. You saw his Penny series. Yep. Everyone's talking about this. Everyone is talking about this for like a couple of reasons, which is like just stuff that he went on, like Colin and Samir and said this was like, oh, stuff that you think you could do but you didn't do, and I did it, and that's why I'm here and you're not. So like simple stuff, like, yeah, you could have crossed the country on a penny, but you didn't. I did it. It's pretty easy. You know what I mean? So stuff like that, and people are doing this in like short form content, so that niche is becoming also really saturated. So the best piece of advice I can just give in general is personality YouTubers are shining through a lot now, and just being like original and interesting. Yeah. And it's like the only way, the only advice I can give. If this was like 2 years ago, I'd give some generic ass advice that's just, oh yeah, follow trends, hit the algorithm, do speculation.
Stay consistent,
yeah, but that's just not true anymore. Like you probably have to just stay like really original and give your opinion on things, and just like let your personality shine through, and just maybe be a little controversial in some of the things you talk about, stuff like that.
What's your approach when working with brands and like working with, when you have these companies and say, hey, talk about my company for 60 seconds and I'll give you such and such money, or for free I'll give you such and such products. What are like your like do's and don'ts? Like what are some things that you're like, if a company throws this at me, there's no chance, and if a company throws this at me, it's like, oh yeah, we're golden, here we go.
So brand deals is something so specific. That's why I was telling you at Playlist, I was like, brand deals are really like niche on every creator. That's why you can never share your details on brands when you sign an NDA to like your creator friend, even if it's behind the scenes, just because rates are so different. You know what I mean? Unless it's something that's super general. Like if Spotify comes to like 50 creators in the same niche and then they're getting different things, then you can go on Twitter and complain. But in the meantime, like general info I can give is that when brands come to you, they probably have two things in mind, which is like product placement, showcase, like talk about our product, stuff like that, or brand awareness, which is, hey, we're not doing this to get like customer acquisition. We're doing this to like just have a presence on whatever social media site. You know what I mean? Like when a mayonnaise company hits up a food creator, they're not caring if people are going to come buy their mayonnaise more. Yeah. They're just saying like, hey, you see us a lot. Like we're that mayonnaise company. Like we're supportive. Like we're in this space too. Like they just want to get their foot in the door and stuff like that. Yeah. So those are like the two things where really. So in the more specifics where it's like, oh, hey, I can't say this, cannot say that. That's more of the brand. Like they'll just hit you up and they'll give you like a script or something or bullet points on what to talk about. So it really depends.
Company comes to you, is like, yeah, put our code, or put your creator code with us, like in every single one of the videos, even if in that video you don't talk about it. I don't do that. I only put the code in when I do talk about it, because if my time with the company later, I don't want them winning. But there comes a point where like I might not fuck with them anymore, not really like them anymore, and I don't want them getting revenue under my name.
Exactly.
And fuck that. So like what's your approach of like putting like, hey, like I talked about them for 60 seconds, but not every video, like putting that in every single one of the videos?
Yeah, so the short answer is like know your worth, and fair is fair. Like this is a transaction-based economy, creators, and if the brand doesn't recognize that, hey, like we're in very scarce demand, like just for me to even respond in your email, like you know how many creators you're probably gonna have to hit up and they're not gonna respond? Like, look, dude, you already got me. Okay, know your worth. I'm not gonna do something for free. Plain and simple. Exactly. Stuff like that.
Quick background, why I brought this up, because me and Yousif, we met at Playlist Live, right?
Playlist Live.
Yeah, this was a couple months ago. So I do look at you as like a mentor, like somebody.
Oh man.
No, seriously, because I just love doing this, but the business side is just something I'll admit I'm just not the strongest in yet. So that's why I do go to you for that type of stuff.
Bro, you need to call me more. You don't call me enough. You need to call me more.
Okay, I will. I will. I guess you could say you said marketing, sales, but just digitally through video. What would you say is a myth, or just something that people think that is true that is just totally not, like about people like us?
Maybe that we're like fake behind the scenes, stuff like that. I want to say a lot of creators are straight up.
Yeah.
A lot of brands are straight up. There's not a lot of beating around the bush.
We've put in so much time and we put so much into our own craft that it's just like we don't really, we know what we want, we know what we're good at, we know what we're not good at, we know that we've gotten money from this company before, so we don't really settle for anything more. We just want to keep, we fiend to like keep growing and keep making more money and like keep getting more subscribers and keep getting more views. So yeah, that was a good answer. One thing that I noticed in you, and then we'll wrap it up, is you're really good at, like, you're just very friendly with everybody, like something I've never seen before. And you're very, talk to me the importance of being like well-rounded, well-knowledged, because you come from all these backgrounds and you can just like talk about like
everything and anything.
Yeah,
that's just like a me thing. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Like even Owen and JT, they like told me like when I was in Hollywood, like, dude, how can you talk about so much stuff? Because I was like, I'm having a conversation with like cars and health science and creator stuff like all at once, 3 different people at the same time. And I was just like, dude, if I'm gonna be real with you, I just like did everything from the ground up. Like when I became a creator, I became like a video editor, got good at video editing, became head editor in my high school, creator. Then when I became health science, I applied to health science, did the studying, did this, blah, blah, blah. Real estate, like, did nothing about real estate. Signed up for a course. Real estate. You just gotta like, do everything from the ground up and then stuff like that. When you go through a car phase and when you're like 16, you learn about cars, stuff like this. You're really friendly with other people. Yeah. I want to say I got that from JT and Owen because they're so friendly with other people. Uh-huh. I've never seen creators specifically be so compassionate towards people who you'd never ever think. I've seen like Owen and JT be like, dude, what's up? To like the most random, like you would have never ever thought.
Just so invested in them.
No, like they're homies, like they're friends, they talk all the time, but they're completely 2 different people. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Creators are creators.
Any creators watching or anybody that is watching, it's kind of a short podcast. I'm
gonna feel so bad. I'm gonna come back.
No.
In the future, we're gonna film another one. I gotta film another one for Khalil, anyways.
Well, first off, I appreciate you for taking the time and like all the value that you've provided. But is there anything, any tips, any motivations to creators or anybody that's just tuning into this point? Any last words for you? And then after that, just kind of talk about where people can find you, Yousif, and where people can connect with you if they want to.
The best advice I can give is that like you can't do it alone. You need friends. You need friends. So find friends. You can find friends. Like don't tell me you can't find friends. Yeah. I'm not gonna tell you how. You just gotta do it.
Put the effort. If you put the effort forward, they'll notice that.
Stuff like that. Yeah. You can't do it alone. It's like that fucking quote where it's like, dream of 1, you can't get it done, or dream of 2, dreams come true, or some shit like that. Team of 2, dreams come true. I don't fucking know.
And where can people find you, Yousif?
Yousif Mihyar, Yousif Mihyar. Just Google me, and that's it.
Just Google me.
Yeah, just Google me. I'll come up.
The Brosifs, thank you guys for watching to this point. This is a real talk with Tim Hofacker.
Yo, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course, man. Yousif Mihyar, thank you so much.
Of course, bro.
The Brosifs, subscribe. If you guys are watching this point, thank you guys so much. You'll see me in the next one. So appreciate you guys. Peace out.